the Alliance Party, which some of you may know of. I don't know much about it, but they put a bit of a press release talking about local elections. They're back in the fight, ready to shake up the political establishment and put working people first in local communities across Aotearoa. After years of lack of genuine left-wing voice, the Alliance is re-emerging to endorse candidates in the upcoming local body elections. For too long, ordinary New Zealanders have been ignored and their needs sidelined, says Alliance Party spokesperson Quentin Findlay. We've watched as political decisions made by a select few fail our communities. That's why we're aiming to elect dedicated community-focused candidates to local councils. Strong presence in the national politics through the 1990s and early 2000s, last contested national elections in 2014. There's an influx of young members has led to the resurgence of the party, whose past achievements include paid parental leave and the establishment of Kiwi Bank. There you go. High praise.
They were the Kiwi Bank ones.
This reminded me that not too long ago, the ACT Party said that they were going to endorse endorse and nominate. Actually, no, it wasn't just endorsements. They were recruiting local politics. Sorry, I'll find the article which disappeared off my...
To be fair, I know because we had a really funny meme that week. It was of Brooke and Seymour as certain soldiers from a certain war.
X looks to stand candidates in the local elections for the first time, so that's March this year. He's expected to call for a clean out of councils, which he says have missed the memo for real change that New Zealanders voted for when it elected the coalition government in 2023. I'll make a point about this very soon. ACT has been focused on tackling the cost of living, wasteful spending and co-governance in central government, but when I travelled the country, I'm constantly told that local councils have failed to address these same concerns with the local level. Kiwis voted for real change in 2023, but our councils seem to have missed the memo. It's time for a clean out. So, clean out is an interesting word. And I had to look into this because I was curious about local elections because I don't know much about it and endorsing candidates. And we've obviously seen this with Tori Whanau, who was Green affiliated, rescinded her Green affiliation, and then when she was looking to rerun, which she has decided not to, but when she was, she looked to put her Green affiliation back on the cards. And then you've obviously got Andrew Little, who's running. I don't know if he's Labour endorsed, but obviously it's Andrew Little. Everyone knows him as an ex-Labour MP, so it's kind of hard to be like, he's neutral or he's not party affiliated.
Tori is running for Māori ward on the council.
Good on her. Good on her.
She's still running technically, but not where I want her to be.
Esmea. She's great, Esmea.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So I had a quick look around, and the conversation did a wee piece about the problem with local body candidates aligning with national political parties. When was this written? Oh yeah, this is only like 2 days ago, which is great. Great timing. So there's a thing called the Local Govt Act. It requires elected members to consult with people affected by the decisions and to do so with an open mind. Reinforcing this point, the Office of the Auditor General says that those managing public resources must avoid holding predetermined positions. You are not required to approach every decision as though you have given it no prior thought or have no existing knowledge or opinion. However, you are required to keep an open mind, and you must be prepared to change or adjust your views if the evidence or arguments warrant it. If ACT is successful in building a local government ticket nationally, this tension and the kind of tensions recently at play in Wellington could be seen in other councils. So this was the infighting that they saw with the councils not agreeing with Tory, and
the whole stupid
wasn't great.
Person
so they ended up, so they put someone in from the Office of Auditor General, I believe, is what this thing, and they came up with some recommendations. And so I had a read of these, and I was like, so what's good? What's the gist? And I learned a lot of things about local governing politics. I can find my mouse, which just keeps disappearing.
Weird, I can see your mouse.
Yeah, no, I can't. It just blends in. So I'll read a few of these points. Under the party political endorsement, which is not allowed. It is allowed, but there are pros and cons. So some of the plus sides are political party endorsed members could, for example, assist to align local and national strategy and agendas. So that's not a bad thing. Foster collaboration and cooperation with central government, offer clarity to voters about what candidates stand for, and provide some reassurance that they will generally hold to that view or philosophy. But on the downside, political party endorsed members could, for example, prioritise a party's position on a national agenda over the local community's wants, present governance and leadership challenges if the member is issue-driven as opposed to supporting a common vision, and contribute to eroded trust in the system if it is perceived decisions are made based on party policies and dynamics rather than community needs and the members' statutory obligations. There is actually obligations that they must follow as elected council members, and it's different to national central government. I didn't know this.
Yeah.
And it's talking about the that thing of like not having preconceived notions. So I'm not saying that. So this is from the Auditor General. I'm not saying that party politics have determined the outcome, as it is clear that party endorsed candidates, as at other times, do not vote en bloc. Equally, though, it would be naive to ignore the significant pressure reportedly placed on party-endorsed members not to go against the will of the party members on significant issues, nor the potential consequences of them doing so. In my view, being political party endorsed as a form of branding done in order to establish that the candidate has a shared set of values which they are expected to uphold on election is quite different to endorsement that binds a member and subjects them to whipping, whether formal or informal. While voters have a right to know what candidates stand for and to expect members to generally hold to that view or philosophy as an ideal and in law, they must also be prepared to consider the decisions that they take objectively with an open mind. Good local democracy and governance depends on it. And the last little bit is under some observations. In 27, in addition to the members' declaration to act in the best interests of the district, here are some examples of what the law requires. Make local decisions on behalf of communities, conduct that is open, transparent, and democratically accountable, taking account of the views of all in the community and in the district and so on. Democratically govern communities, be a good employer, seek and assist and assess all reasonably practical options, consider the views and preferences of persons likely to be affected, and receive the views presented with an open mind and give them due consideration. It's funny. I would assume these also go for politicians in our central government, right?
They've got different sets of rules because local and central government they have entirely different systems, and the way that they're funded is very different. Like local government is severely underfunded because essentially local government gets given more responsibilities to the actual people of the community, but very little of the money that they should to enable that. Which is why they have to put up rates and all that shit and piss everyone off.
Or not put up the rates because they don't want to piss everyone off.
And then fuck themselves.
Some advice and guidance that came out of this: adhere to the values that you as a candidate stand for, but be prepared to consider the decisions to be taken objectively and with an open mind. Gain a thorough understanding of the Local Government Act, provisions relating to the role of council and members' obligations, especially in decision-making, and weigh them against any prior commitments. Inform those selecting party-endorsed candidates about what the law provides and about the risks of tight binding arrangements. Recognise that if and when a colleague goes against the will of party members, they may have information, including confidential information, that the party doesn't have and have objectively considered it. Conversely, allow the possibility that if a colleague does go with the will of the party, it may be because they have objectively considered the issues, options and submissions and come to an independent decision, which you'd hope that they do. Try and avoid pillaring colleagues for the way that they vote. And lastly, be aware of the risk of replicating parliamentary party politics in local authorities because, for example, parliamentary parties run and implement specific policy pledges. The Local Government Act 2002 requires a fundamentally different approach. Local government lacks the checks and balances built into the parliamentary system, and minority dissent and instability can give rise to opposition for opposition's sake.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the potential issues with party-endorsed candidates. And by the sounds of it, it sounds like ACT, literally, they want to clean out councils. And they've missed the memo for real change. When I travel across, I'm constantly told the local councils have failed to address these same concerns at the local level. Kiwis voted for real change, but councils seem to have missed the memo. It's time for a clean out.
Oh, fuck off.
So that seems to go very much against the Local Government Act.
Yeah, I'm not
because
surprised.
councillors should act in their independence with the facts that they're given and for the best decisions they can make for their local constituents, right? And not be swayed by a party's underlying ideology, right?
Apparently that's crazy. Apparently that's too wild. But do you know what that means, though? If they have to listen to people, that means they have to listen to those damn Maoris who just want everything. Because where do we draw the line? Once the gays get married, where do we draw the line? It's just, And it's just frustrating because I also, I think there was a comment I saw about kind of creates a bit of a, here we go. This is where a problem can lie. When you can't run as an independent, you are bound by party politics.
Yep.
I also noticed that someone in the chat said that they have voted for a local national member, but would never do it for central politics, which is quite interesting. I haven't really heard, but I mean, at the end of the day, if they are the person that has the better, the ideals that align better and their vision, that
But I think that also comes under that act which says that when presented with evidence, you kind of have to let go of your preconceived notions and follow the evidence and do what's best for your people. So, sure, they might be national party aligned as the overarching views. They say I align with the national party, but also in my role as a local councillor, I have to look at what's in front of me and look at it independently, not just follow the ideology of the party. Yeah, so that's interesting. But I can totally see. Yeah, I can totally see that. Councils, local government is very, very different. I see it very differently.
Well, not only that, but local government, in my opinion, they're the more important, and honestly, on the everyday stuff, they are generally the important ones. They're the ones that are tasked with keeping, an eye on the general well-being of the area that they're serving, whereas central government does a lot of overarching shit that is also important, but it's not the nitty-gritty harder work, you know what I mean? And I remember when I started learning more about the way that government works, that's where I kind of started to realize, so no wonder a lot of city councils can't do a lot for their, their rohe. It's because they don't actually have the funds that they should proportionally have based on how much they're actually providing for, things that really should technically be funded through central government. If you wanted to make an argument for that, either give them the money or make them pay for it. Either way, they definitely need a lot more resources, and they have, I think, pretty basically two revenues in which to really make money. I can only think of one off the top of my head, right? And I know there's a second one, but just lost it.
Rates and something.
Yeah.
Rates and central give them a small amount, don't they?
I
The
mean,
government do give them a small amount, but yeah, otherwise they have to bring
yeah,
it from.
not actually. Yeah.
No, it's not even fines, because fines would be NZTA and yeah.
Either
I don't
way,
know.
there's not many ways for them to make money, and therefore it then pisses a bunch of old people off who own homes because they're like, I don't want to pay more on my rates.
I think the other thing to think about too is that local council members, correct me if I'm wrong, they don't make a very high wage. Like it's a pretty reasonable salary, right, compared to what you earn in central government. So I wonder if there's something to be said about people that are on the council actually do care about the constituents. Like they're not doing it for the money. They're not there for the $230,000
I mean, some of them will
a year.
definitely be there for the money because that is always how it is in some places. But yeah, generally probably less of that.
But yeah, I wonder if it's
They're more
people
hands-on.
that like, yeah, they actually want to see things change. And I have seen candidates run for local council, and they have these big grand ideas, and then once they actually get into the council and they are presented with a lot of that evidence and have more information about the issues, they do go against what they campaigned on.
Yeah.
And they all kind of,
which is another issue.
Most of the time, it all kind of comes to a general consensus. Wellington was an interesting one, but generally speaking, I think most councils they come to a consensus on things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it really depends. I mean, you've got very different. I mean, some councils are better than others. There is quite the variety. Oh, that's cool. Apparently, Paul, the other one's doing a docu-series on the candidates' backgrounds who are running for local elections. We should definitely get in and consume all of that.
Yes. Yeah, I did have a quick look at his channel in case there was anything that I could use to sort of add to the discussion on this particular thing, because I know he's very much into the local politics stuff, which is great because I think we definitely add more commentary to the national side of things, whereas he's very much focused on the local side of things, which is very important.
I did actually see that Vusa, they have done some interviews with local mayoral candidates that were quite fun, but also it was good to see like that they actually have had the candidates come in and do them. I wonder if I can find them. It's either Vusa or something else. View related. I'll have to have a nosy for it, but we could probably look at some of those as well, because I definitely think it would be good to cover some of that a bit more.
Actually, I will put that on screen. Or the other one. Yes, definitely go and seek him out on the YouTube. I'm curious what with my computer local council's salary. Indeed, salary, probably salary more than wages, isn't it?
Yeah.
Remuneration. Don't know how old this is. Regional Council chairperson in the Bay of Plenty is 150,000 a year. Canterbury, its chairperson is 180,000 a year, so pretty reasonable. Hawke's Bay, 150. 150 for Manawatu. Northland is 130. Otago is 150. Southland is 130. Taranaki is 115,000. That's a huge. Okay, interesting. Waikato was 170,000. Wellington 180,000, and the West Coast just get 100,000.
Interesting.
Not sure if this is up to date, but they.
Yeah,
there you go. 2024, 25. Yeah. The rest of the people are actually, okay. So that is in line with what I was saying. They're very sort of modest, 9 to 5 sort of wages. Then the chairperson, it makes sense that they would be on a bit more. But certainly not what you get as a central government employee. Certainly
Oh
not as
yeah,
much.
no,
So
absolutely
I have
not.
a good feeling that people do not go into, oh, damn, if you're Auckland Mayor, you make 300,000 a year.
Fucking
Damn.
Brown's making that much money. Get him
Yeah,
out.
Jesus. If I can find anyone else's. Yeah, so generally speaking, you don't go into the council because you want to make bank. It is very
Yeah,
much you believe in enacting what the people want and need. So,
yeah. Also, I was wrong. It wasn't VUW. It was Salient. So they've done. It's put me on, hasn't it? Yeah, they have done. Well, they did one with Tori, obviously, but she is no longer running for mayor. But they talked to her anyway. Um, but yeah, maybe we can go through those and add little. I need to watch those, so maybe we'll go over them and see if there's anything interesting we can talk about next week.
oh, there you go. It's in the ballot. If you're a councillor, you're treated as self-employed, no KiwiSaver, no super, and no mild allowance. Interesting.
Wow, yeah, that's
Very interesting.
that's a
That means they
lot
have to
of
do their
no
own
perk.
taxes as well, so no
Yeah,
PAYE.
yeah,
Okay, okay. Interesting.
that's kind of cooked. Interesting.
That is very interesting.
We'll definitely have to
Oh, more to learn, I
do
think.
more
I
on
think
that.
that's the
Absolutely.
general thing. Someone called me out
Yeah.
for saying that the chairperson does a lot more work, but probably fair. I think it's a different kind of work. Being the chairperson, there's a lot of decisions, and a lot of the decisions that you make are kind of on your head. That alone is quite a lot of stress, but do they do more work than the other councillors? I don't know. You would think that the
Also,
salary somewhat represents.
own
Yes, your own taxes.
taxes, GST exempt. So that's a perk.
This is like, man.
All
GST
right.
exemptions? Exempt? Anyway, yeah, there you go. We all learned something new today.
Yeah.
And go and find out what's happening in your local elections because
Yes.
you all need to vote.
Well, yeah, I mean, things will start ramping up more over these next few months, I'm sure, as things get more and more ready for the battles of the ballots. Ooh, I kind of like that. Battles of the ballots.